The coalition have no legs to stand on when it comes to gas. They have no credibility whatsoever. We know it, the public knows it, and the industry knows it too. Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise in response to the motion moved by Peter O'Connor, and I'll start by clearly stating my support for gas. We need it. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot in this motion that I agree with, and there's a lot in this motion that the government agrees with. It is true that it is an important part of our economy, and it does employ a lot of people. There's a new gas-fired peaking station in Curry right next door to my electorate, and I'm sure that a lot of people in my electorate have a job just because of this. And that's great, Deputy Speaker. The motion also points out that natural gas is essential to Australia achieving its net zero target in 2050. This is all very true, and that's why natural gas plays a very important role in our energy policy. We can't put more renewable energy into the grid without firming baseload supply of energy provided by gas. They also go on to state other basic facts and figures like natural gas is connected to more than 5 million Australians, providing 2% of the energy consumed by Australians in the manufacturing sector in 2022. And that is the natural gas sector providing $17.1 billion in taxes, royalties and charges in 2023 and 2024. At the end of the day, the Labor Party backs gas, and our policies show this. But what I'm confused about is why someone who was a member of the previous government wants a discussion with us about energy policy uncertainty. The member for O'Connor, who I have a lot of respect for, must be having some trouble with his memory, because if mine serves me correctly, there's one very important detail that he's leaving out. Well, actually, there are 23 important details that he's leaving out in this discussion about energy policy certainty. When they were in government, they had over 20 energy policies, and just a few weeks ago, from his nice building in the city, the Leader of the Opposition announced number 23. A policy that will impact my electorate. That he announced 200 kilometres away from my electorate without speaking to the voters. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh, Deputy Speaker. Maybe I can't refer to this energy policy number 23 because usually a policy has some details. This one doesn't seem to have it. But either way, that lot opposite have made our energy policies over the past decade with my fingers and toes and both my hands and feet put together. But here they are today wanting to talk to us about energy policy. We'll forgive me for my confusion. But I don't think this is a topic that they are even slightly qualified to discuss. The only thing you can be certain about with energy policies announced by those opposite is that they won't last long until another one is announced. Now let's compare and contrast with our track record on energy. Our country went from having a government who goes through energy policies faster than I can go through a burger, to this government who has taken immediate and strong action to shore up gas supply and manage price impacts by introducing the mandatory code of conduct, strengthening the Australian domestic gas security mechanism and releasing the future gas strategy. And this has worked, Deputy Speaker. The gas mandatory code has now secured more than 600 petajoules of domestic gas for the East Coast users out till 2033. And by the way, that is something the Coalition voted against. Maybe they were worried that our policies might actually work. The Coalition have no legs to stand on when it comes to gas. They have no credibility whatsoever. We know it, the public knows it, and industry knows it too. They called on you to vote for the PRRT reform, which you stood in the way of. They called on you to support legislation to implement the London Protocol amendments, which you held up in the Senate for way longer than it needed. They called on you to support the Gas Market Code of Conduct, and you refused. They filled this motion with a lot of facts and figures, but let's get one thing straight. The track record of those opposites show that once again, It falls to the Labor government to clean up their mess and drive a responsible, orderly energy transition across the economy, with affordable renewables being the centrepiece, backed up by firmed hydro, batteries and gas-fired power stations. Thank you.